All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this exciting webinar on one of the most incredible concepts you will ever see. We're going to talk about call centers today and how to get 200K in your bottom line this year without having to risk any money utilizing our grant funding system. So I am Alan Thornton and we are Grant Source, but I don't expect you to hear me unless you know me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our background, not to impress you, but more to impress upon you. We know what we're doing, and a lot of that's come from trial and error, right? Not because we're just incredible geniuses, but going back and just a little bit about my story, why we started this platform is I was that kid that sold everything, right? Lotions, potions, hope, soap, you name it. I sold it. And when I got a little bit older, I found something, have always been in sales, was in enterprise software, but I found something in college that I was truly passionate about. And that was a nonprofit. And where I went to school, the African-American graduation rate was less than 6%. So we said, we're gonna start a nonprofit to help with this, and we're gonna do something about it. And needless to say, 3 years later, we increased that 6% African-American male graduation population to about 38% in just 3 years. We did both campus, we did community involvement, but more importantly, we were looking to expand. And a lot of you on this call are looking to do the same thing, right? You want to expand, but you don't have a ton of money, and that's where we were. So we looked for grants to help do that. And unfortunately, again, we found out really quickly that grants are extremely hard to find. They're even more difficult to write. So I gave it to what I thought was an expert to handle it for me. And unfortunately, there was little to no communication, and they ended up burning us and they ended up stealing our money. And we found ourselves again in a place where there was a broken system that needed to be changed. So we started Grant Source. And it took us a couple years to actually build the platform and through trial and error, get everything right. But since launching last year in 2018, we've helped organizations get about $5.8 million, which we think is incredible. A lot of great impact stories. And we wrote a book on it. We have conferences on it. Many of you on this call are real estate investors. You may own a car dealership and have some real estate. You may own an apartment complex. You may be some of our friends from a couple associations that we're in the real estate investing community. You may own a co-working space, which a couple of our friends, and we've helped open a couple and launch a couple of those with these call centers. So that's a little bit about our background and kind of why we started, because I think it's important to understand, why are you doing this? What's your motivation? So that was ours. You've probably seen us a few times on the news. Again, not to impress you, but there's been some great impact stories that we've been blessed to be a part of their stories and how they scale out and impact the world. So that's about our accolades. But again, what I'm really excited about, this is my baby girl. Right? This is Alana Rose Thornton. She just had a birthday. She just turned 5. And my personal mission is to make this world a better place for her. That is what my why, and that's what drives me. So that's what this webinar is about, right? It's about social impact. It's about getting grants, but not just for the money, to really create the impact. And we've created a way for people to understand what social impact does, but also understand how it's great for their business. And we're going to talk about how that can mean about 200K to your bottom line. So stick with us, right? The value, and I learned this at a Grant Cardone seminar. I'm actually one of his students as well. The value of a consultant is not to tell you what you know, but instead to show you what you don't. So here's our agenda. We're going to talk about why this is a great opportunity right now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but right now. How grants can be used for your business, and a case study on somebody that is probably saying the same things that you are saying in your head right now, And then last, we'll wrap up with what packages we offer and how we can move forward. So without further ado, we've written countless books and courses. In our books, we talk about how to create impact and get money for your mission. Our books, our conferences, we have a bunch of series. We're doing 17 cities over the next 10 months of this conference. We have 2 more books that will be coming out as well. We also have a nonprofit that we're able to scale out and do a bunch of social impact and do some work across, not only in the US, but in Canada and Mexico and places that are stricken with disasters like Haiti and Puerto Rico. And those are things that are important to us, right? And those are the same things that will be important to some of the people on this call. And we're going to show you how to package all of that. And many of you have heard of social impact, but said, yeah, it's something that we'll get to. And if you haven't heard of a grant funding system, it's something that's revolutionizing the way that every organization is going to do business. So stay tuned. 3 things that you've probably said to yourself or have heard from somebody else. Look, grants, social impact, look, it's a waste of time. Let's spend our efforts somewhere else. We're in this business to make money, right? And it's a waste of money. Why would we allocate budget to this? We need to spend money on something that makes money. And I just have a lack of interest. Somebody says I have a lack of interest because it's not what I'm focused on, right? This really hasn't panned out for anybody else, so why would I do it? Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard somebody say that? Some of you have a brother, mother, sister, cousin that's sitting next to you right now, poking you, saying this. So if you've heard these things, it's not your fault. Once you understand the numbers behind the numbers and how this really shakes out, you'll understand why this is truly important. And I used to say some of these things, a few of these phrases and hear these phrases until I ran across a report that really talks about trends. So for those of you that don't know who Wealth Engine is. So Wealth Engine is the definitive source of industry research on anything that comes to trends and making money here in America. And they did a study. And for those of you that have never heard of this report, I'm glad to send it to you. Just send me an email after and I'll provide that to you. But they did a study and talked about a concept called the Great Wealth Transfer. And if you don't know what the Great Wealth Transfer is, if I'm lying, I'm flying, right? Google it. If you haven't heard of this, it'll change your business life once you understand this. So over the next 10 years, experts say this is the beginning of the biggest 10-year opportunity in the history of the United States. Why? Is because baby boomers are retiring at a rate of 10,000 baby boomers every single day. Now, what this means is $67 trillion will change hands in the next 10 years from the older generations to millennials. Now, the way millennials buy things are very different. The way they make decisions, the way they work. They don't work in office, they work in co-working spaces. They don't work, right? They don't like to waste resources. They are not gonna have a big house, that big summer home. They're gonna rent one through Airbnb, right? They're not going to have a bunch of different cars when they go to different cities. They're gonna take an Uber. And also when they make buying decisions, they're 70% more likely, and I'm a millennial, to buy or spend more on a brand that has social impact. And if you're not taking advantage of this, you need to understand the millennial mindset, because that is where the money is really going to be made in this next 10 years. So millennials are diverse, they're collaborative, they're inclusive, and they will work with a wide variety of people as long as there's impact attached to this. So is this something that you guys are interested in? And let me tell you why. It's gonna mean about 200K to your bottom line. So, You should be. Now, millennials are the way they view things in the community. A brand is either below or above the line. If you don't understand this concept of the line, something you can Google as well. So they are either helping the community or they're taking away from the community. Millennials always also view things very differently. We're the social media age, right? So if you wrote a letter to somebody in the past, you wrote a letter to a person. These days, if you're on social media, if you text Chick-fil-A, if you text Wells Fargo, they're expected to have a voice. The brand, right? The brand, not a person. The brand is expected to have a voice. So a brand, your property, your business, your whatever your establishment is, it's expected and it needs to have a certain perception. And it's one of two things. It's above the line, helping the community, or it's below the line, taking away from the community. So, and here's a quick quiz. And it's about perception, right? 99% of perception is reality. It's not about if you're doing it. It's if your community, your clients, your tenants, your prospects know. So here's the quick quiz. I know most of you love quizzes. Pop quiz. Do your clients, your tenants, your prospects know about your historical impact? Do they know what you've done in the past? Not have you done it. Key word is, do they know? Okay. Do your clients, your tenants, your prospects know what cause your property currently supports? Your property, your business, your establishment, do they know about what that particular establishment currently supports? Not, you may have another nonprofit that does overall arching, or you may have a family foundation, but no, we're talking about the cause that that particular establishment location currently supports, right? How are we doing so far? Do your clients, your tenants, your prospects know how many hours your team volunteers throughout the year? Do they know? I know most of you are doing it, but do they know? That's a key word. Last, do your clients, tenants, prospect know about your current impact? And many of you have a current impact. Remember, it's all about perception. How do we do on the quiz? Yeah, I know some of you missed a couple there, but that's why we're here, to help you package this and get credit for the work that you're already doing. And that credit is going to mean about $200K to your bottom line. And how is that? Also, I'm going to give you a few examples, right? I'm going to actually prove it to you, because you say, there's no way that people would spend 70% more. No way, right? So many of you have families, and many of your families eat. So I'll give you some eating examples that you use with your family. I go to the store, right? I go to buy eggs. There's two types of eggs. There's the regular store bought eggs. There's cage-free eggs. Regular store-bought eggs are about $1.50. Cage-free eggs are almost $4. We buy the cage-free eggs, right? Just because it sounds better, and we feel like they treat the animals better. I don't even know what that really means, cage-free. They're not a pen. I don't know. Milk, right? $2.19 on your screen. You're looking at it. Horizon Good Milk. Right? It's organics better somehow, and we paid $3.99 for it, even though the regular milk is cheaper. That's how millennials buy. It's really like this. Water. How many of you have bought what? There's $1 bottled water for $1. There's another bottled water that's packaged a little bit better, and it costs $3. But they donate a certain portion to refugees in war-stricken countries or civil war-stricken countries. And a lot of people buy the $3 water just because it has a cause. Millennials, remember this, even if you don't do business with us, understand the millennial mindset, because it'll help you make a ton of money once you understand it. 70% more likely to buy or spend money on a cause when it has social impact. So let's bring it down. We did kind of the practical. Let's do the personal. Let me prove it to you. Let's say your property, if you're an apartment complex owner, you're a co-working space, you're a car dealer, right? You own a party hall, whatever it is, property, product, service, whatever it is. I'll give you a picture here, and I'm a real estate investor, so this is an apartment complex. Let's say property A, product or service A is $1,000 a month, and it has no impact, which is okay, right? Because it's happened for a while. But property B has substantial, and here's the key word, documented impact, because they have a cost center and they can document everything that they've done. They're not doing anything differently. They are just packaging it and letting their clients, their tenants know, their prospects, what they're doing. Now, if I'm a millennial, just like I gave you the egg example, just like I gave you the milk example, just like I gave you the water example, as a millennial, if I see these two properties, I'm probably going to go with property B, even though they have similar amenities, even though they have similar, for those of you that don't know, this is the exact same picture. So don't get fooled. But same amenities and everything else, same benefits or similar, but I will not only probably go with property B, I will probably pay even more for property B as a millennial. And this is how they think. And I'll send you the guide. It's astounding once you understand these numbers, and all of you understand real life examples like that. And millennials are going to affect the population above them, right? The generation above them and below them. So the millennial mindset is very important, because, you know, the golden rule over these next 10 years is the people who have the gold make the rules. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a cost center. So I want everybody to really dig into this and understand three things by the time we leave here. What is a cost center? How does a cost center work? And can it really benefit my property or my business? That's why you're on this call. You want to make sure that what we're telling you matches up with your expectations, because most of you don't have an expectation because you've never heard of a cost center. So here's the benefits. And I know a lot of you are capitalists, you're for-profit owners, and you want to do good for the people because that's why you got into business, but you also want to do what's good for your business. So here it is, and how it matches up to about $200K to make it good for your business. You get a $50,000 annual tax credit just for creating a cost center, not doing anything different than you're already doing. You're probably already doing this. You're probably already giving to charity. You're probably already documenting impact. You're probably already giving products or services to a certain nonprofit, but you're not packaging it correctly. Also, you're eligible for $120K in marketing grants, $10,000 a month. Wow. Yes. Yes. Many of you are already. How many of you are paying taxes? Okay. Yeah. Most of you are paying taxes. We're paying taxes. So if you're paying taxes, a $50,000 tax credit is incredible, right? In any year, if you're already spending money on Facebook, Instagram, Google for marketing and advertisements, how does $10,000 a month sound? Incredible, right? And this is real, and I'll send you a guide on this. Increase sales by $30,000 in 60 to 90 days. Now, here's the important thing to understand just about that. So we're going to teach you how to, if you're, I'll show you a real life example of one of our clients that has started one of these cost centers. But if you don't want to be product or service A that are losing out on deals. Let's talk about that first, just example that we gave, right? Whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's an apartment complex, whether it's a product with a contract. If your product or service is $1,000 a month and you lose 2-3 of those deals, right? That's over $36,000, $24,000 to $36,000 that you're losing because you don't have this. I'm going to take you back on a history lesson. So when I was in the .com, right? I was in 6th grade. So 1998, if a company was a .com, you know what that meant? It meant they had a website, right? Oh, they're a .com company. Now, if you don't have a .com, which is a website, you're gonna fall by the wayside, right? You're gonna be left in the dust. Another thing, in 2010 to 2019, if a company had an app, they're a tech company, right? We got clean tech, we got fresh tech, we got dog tech, we got all kinds of tech. But now in these next 10 years, if your organization doesn't have some type of app with your service or product delivery, you're going to be left behind. So this is one of those concepts too, social impact. And if you're not going after social impact and grants and adhering toward the millennial mindset, just like those other companies, you're gonna be left behind. So we're gonna show you how to utilize this and package this to increase sales by $30,000 in the next 60 to 90 days. And that's 200K right there. But wait, there's more. We can also, since we're a grant funding system, we have a database and we have consultants, and I'll show you how we package things, but we can also help you with creating money incentives. We can help you with foundation grants. We can help you with corporation grants. We can help you with celebrity grants. And those all open up once you have a cost center. So that's the core concept behind the cost center. I want to give it to you straight, give it to you quick. We'll send you details around it because most of you have probably never even heard of this concept, but it is critical and is going to change every one of your life. So most of you are already doing this, right? You can turn marketing dollars, you can turn into increase tax credits, increase sales. And you don't have to do anything differently. You're already probably doing some of this. You're just not getting credit for it. You haven't packaged it. You don't have the right structure, and we'll help you with that. So imagine what it will look like if you have the cost center. And a cost center, just so you know, is an entity that is housed in the same space that your for-profit business is. Think about Airbnb for social impact. So, right, you turn the lights off at 6 o'clock, but you run a program that houses some type of social impact, some type of program. You do a blood drive, or you do something in your parking lot. You have a educational seminar for kids. And guess what? All those things bring in people to your space. I have a little girl, and if my little girl gets invited to something, guess who takes her? Her parents, her daddy, right? We take her there. And once that happens, whatever that establishment is, we are loyal to, especially if they're doing something for our kid and we see this nice new space, we're going to want to do business there. It doesn't matter that it doesn't have anything to do with why we're there. It's a program when we see the space, and once you do the cross-sell opportunities, you can make a lot of money while doing good in the community, right? So it's good to the people, and it's also good for your business. So you don't have to do anything different, and look, almost 200K worth of benefit to your bottom line, right? So you saw us on, I believe it was, you've probably seen us on Fox. You'll see us upcoming on the CW. You'll see us on CBS talking about this same concept. And it's going to get old because you're going to see a lot of us because we do a lot of marketing because we want our clients to be successful. And our goal, like I said, is just to increase the overall impact. So my mission, make this place a better place for the next generation, right? So when it comes to grants, if it's multifamily, if it's apartment complex, there's a lot of different grants that open up once you create this cost center. And just so you understand, it's not a lot of work on your part. We will do everything for you. We will create the cost center. We'll manage the compliance. We'll manage all the grants. We'll help you out with marketing grants. Most of you have probably even never heard of a $120,000 marketing grant for your business, right? Because there's some things that have to happen and we're packaging. You've never heard of green money incentives. We're talking tax abatements. We're talking bill credits for things that you're already doing within your business, economic development grants, community block grants, right? For your property within your business, foundation grants, corporation grants, for the programs that you're running to increase the impact. And that all goes into your bottom line. So we said 200K. It could be a lot more than that, depending on where you are and what you're doing, especially community block grants. If you're in a hub zone, I mean, that's getting a little deep and technical, but there's a lot of different opportunities out there. And why we started this platform is we heard about grants all the time, but honestly, grants were like a unicorn, right? We knew they were out there, but I'd never seen one personally until now. And some of these grants, I mean, we've gotten these grants for ourselves too, like the marketing grant. We have a 90% success ratio in getting that grant. Foundation and corporation grants, we have an 85% success ratio with our system and how we do things, right? It's different and it's innovative and it's optimized by technology, and we have a mobile app. So I'll show you a quick case study, and this is important. Now, this is John. Say hi, John. Everybody knows a John, and John's a great guy. He's the CEO of the Cannon. If you don't know who the Cannon is, they are the largest co-working space in Houston. They just revamped and re-gutted about a 200,000 square foot warehouse in Houston, and they have 3 other locations. They have a nice, very nice location downtown, very nice location in the Galleria. But John understands if you're not on the cutting edge of social impact, you're going to lose. And as a co-working space, the first thing you think about co-working is large entities like WeWork or like Regus, right? Spaces. So everybody has to compete. Everybody's looking for an edge. Everybody's looking for that next thing. But if you can get that next thing and some other things, that's a good thing. So initially when I talked to John, here's what he had to say. You know, Alan, I really don't have any interest. We really don't have budget for this. When it comes to people, we don't have the resources to allocate to this as far as people. I know, and I understand we're missing grant opportunities, but I don't really have a way to find them, right? They're like unicorns. They're just out there. We've wasted time in the past just going after these things, and I don't want to lose my money. So thanks, but really no thanks, right? And then we were able to sit down and have a conversation. These are some of the things that were going on in John's head, but we were able to have a conversation and go through some of these things, right? His interest really peaked once he understood this concept of the great wealth transfer, the millennial mindset. His budget, he went back to his CFO and said, hey, how much are we spending? And saw that he was spending $2,500 a month in Google grants. And we said, well, I can get you $10,000 a month, 4 times as much. How's that? He said, that sounds good. When it came to know people, we let him know we would manage everything. We'd even do the website, we'd start the call center, we do the compliance, we do the filing, we do give them the documentation, we would do the grants, we have the personnel, we have the app and everything, so he could just manage it and see how things were running 24/7. And he would not have to miss any grant opportunities because he gets notifications from our app, and then we would apply for him on his behalf. So there's no more wasted time, no more missed opportunities. We'll do all of that, and we wrap around investment protection. So it's risk-free. If we don't at least get your investment back within 12 months, we'll continue to write at no cost or give you a credit for the difference. And since last year, we've helped organizations get about $5.8 million, and we haven't had to give a credit yet. So with all those things, he said, hey, sign me up. Right? It sounds like a great deal to me. And if we don't do this, there will be other people in our space that take advantage of this social impact and will lose out. So the Cannon is a great space. We are doing a huge event. Stay tuned. We're going to have a space and we're doing social impact events at least once a quarter there. So look at our calendar, getmoneyforyourmission.com. You can see our events, and we're also teaching a 2-day class there, as well as the United Way Center, but the for-profit one is going to be housed at the Cannon. So we're really excited about that for 2020. So let's get to it. I know a lot of this is, you guys are still with me. You understand 200K. You understand what the breakdown is. I let you know why this is a great opportunity. So we're going to wrap up with what packages we offer, and then we're just going to go from that next step. It's really simple. You're either pretty much in and you want to move forward with something and make a change and be competitive and get some of this money toward your bottom line, or you probably just want to stay where you are, and unfortunately you may fall by the wayside and lose to some of your competitors by doing that. But we at least wanted to give you the information, and we'll continue to stay in touch if this is not the right time for you. So here's what we do. We are the team that you need to get the money you deserve. We will do everything. Like I said, we have built a grant funding system, not just a database, not just an outside consultant. We have a whole system, digitally transfer, with digital transformation all the way through. So foundation grants, corporation grants, celebrity grants, we will find, we will track, we will manage the grants. You have 24-hour access to see exactly what is being applied for, who has next, what we need from you, all in one piece. And then once we get the marketing grant, we will manage everything for you, right? We'll edit the thing. We will even build the website for your cost center. We'll be your ad consultant. We'll be your marketing ad manager. We will do the A and B split testing, because compliance-wise, you have to stay above a click-through rate. We will help you with SEO and digital management so you can keep that Google grant. And we'll also do the keyword bidding on a bi-weekly basis so that you can stay in compliance. How's that sound? We do everything for you. All you have to do is give us the information that you want inputted, and everything could be managed through the app. We have clients all over the US and in Canada, in Toronto. So what we'll do first is, before we even enter into any type of agreement with you, we will let you know what's available in your area. So the first two you didn't see here, we'll show you the federal grants. So we'll go all the way down, federal, city, county, state, let you know what's available in your area when it comes to grants. We'll also let you know property tax, bill credits, tax abatements, and each one, there's usually about 50 to 60 opportunities that we can find for you right away, just to show you, hey, there are grants and incentives in your particular area. So once you go and you book a time with us and give us your address based on your profile that you put in your assessment, we will be able to pull that for you. So we're going to wrap up here. I know we talked about kind of what our background was. We let you know what a great opportunity this was right now, especially with the great wealth transfer. Don't forget to Google that after this webinar. And we talked about how this is a good opportunity for you, to the tune of about 200K, right? And that's what's important. And then what packages we offer. So I'm gonna open it up real quick for any questions, and then we'll wrap up from here and we can decide what next steps are. So questions. Now you have a few, come on now. Okay, first question. Do I have to start a nonprofit? So great question. If you already have a nonprofit, that's okay. Just like many of you may have different types of businesses. Usually you have different types of entities, right? You may have a holding company, you may have an LLC. So a cost center actually, and what we do is it is a 501c3, which is a nonprofit, which opens up all those other grants, and it's housed at the same address as you have your facility. And there's some other things, and I'll send you a guide after this that you have to do to stay compliant. So that was another question is, do I have to manage the compliance? No. So our lawyers will do everything for you in-house. And like I said, it's all optimized through digital transformation. So we'll send you a questionnaire. You send us, what you'll need, which is the board of directors, their addresses, what you want your name to be. And then we will run through everything for you. We will even ensure that your 501c3 is taken care of. And if it's not, we'll resubmit it for you to make sure that gets issued. And we'll also show you there's trainings in our platform on how to set up everything properly, because it's very important to stay in compliance. And then from there, we'll apply for the Google grant, foundation grants, corporation grants. We'll pick what your program is in the strategy session, so you'll know exactly what you're going to go after and keep it in line with your mission and what you're doing. So we do everything for you, soup to nuts, and we'll build the website, we'll do the ads, we'll do everything, as well as manage the compliance. So great question. Thank you. What other questions do we have? Do I have to have a dedicated space? So the only dedicated space you have is the space that you want to dedicate. So you don't have to have a dedicated space. It's kind of like when Airbnb came out and they said, rent out my house. Why would I rent out my house? I live there. Well, you actually, you run your causes usually outside of your normal business hours, right? We've had organizations do blood drives in their parking lot. We've had organizations do different types of screenings. We've had them do mental health trainings. We've had organizations do entrepreneurship websites, like for kids. So the Cannon we just talked about, they do Cannon for communities. And that's why I said, it's smart if you invite their kids to an entrepreneurship website workshop after school. Their parents come too, and they see your space, and you can book a few tours, because they all have brother, mother, sister, cousins that probably are in business as well. So you don't have to have a dedicated space. It operates within your actual space. So that's a good thing. Any other questions? How much does it cost? Yes, there is an investment. So yeah, there's always $1 million question, right? This sounds great, but does it cost $1 million? So let's talk about that real quick. Great question. Our funding, our fees, and the investment that you work with us is based on how much you would like to raise. And with this cost center, right away, like I said, you get about a 200 grand benefit. And that's for our most popular package, but I'll go down the line here. On the lower end of the spectrum, if you just want us to help you start it and you want to do everything else yourself, we can do that for you. We'll still work with your Green Money report. We'll still help you with the cost center creation, and we'll still give you a framework. Now, at the far end of the spectrum, we will do everything for you, right? Not only your cost center, we'll manage your website, your social media for the cost center. We'll do the A/B split testing, and we'll do 20 different grant projects. And our goal there is to raise anywhere from 400,000 to $1 million. Our most popular package is this one right here, the platinum package. If you notice, everyone, it's a minimum of the platinum package to get the 120K Google grant that we have a 90% success ratio with. We'll still help you start the cost center. We will still help you do all the work around it, the weekly bidding, the A/B split testing. You'll still get your $50,000 tax write-off. But in addition to all that, we will also write 10 grant projects, right? Your foundation grants, corporation grants, and also comes with some green money incentives as well. So we'll do the SEO. This is our most popular package, and that's where you get that 200K worth of benefit in that package. So I know that's a lot. If you'd like to talk more, some of you after this say, hey, 200K, $2,500 a month, let's go. Other of you may need more questions, and there will be some of you that say, hey, well, you know, I'll come and I'm going to try to do all of this myself. And you can try to do that. And most of those people end up coming back and wanting some additional help from us. But we're here to help, right? At least you learned a new concept, which is cost centers. And for you early adopters, just like social media, just like Airbnb, this is, for some of you, it may be a bleeding edge concept, and you'll join kind of at the end after the wave has already been ridden. Some of you will get involved in the beginning and really have a way to optimize and speed and be ahead of a lot of your competitors, because they're not going to think about this for a couple years down the line, right? And you can be an early adopter and a thought leader in this space. So with that, I thank everybody for getting on. So we have next steps. If you're interested, right, and we don't twist anybody's arms because we don't need to, right? This concept is great, and I'll share something with you right now. We are attempting, and we're going to do it, to set a Guinness Book of World Record. And we, in 2020, are going to create 2020 cause centers in the U.S., in Canada, and Mexico. Yes, we have an office in Toronto. I just came back from Guadalajara. So we are going to have an office down there, talking to the good people in Guadalajara about cause centers. So 2020 and 2020, it's going to sweep the world, and we're going to have a lot of fun and help a ton of people create social impact. And really our mission and our goal is to fund causes that change our communities. So if you're interested, send an email to causecenters@grantsourceapp.com. In the subject line, put interested in the cause center. And what we'll do is I will automatically send you a cause center blueprint, and I'll send you the framework. I'll send you those guides we talked about. I'll send you the wealth report that I talked about. I'll send you a link to schedule a call. And then we can walk through, we'll schedule time and walk through everything. I know you pretty much got the core concept. You may have some additional questions, but we'll walk through everything. We'll create a plan that works best for you. And then I'll show you how to set up the right way, and we'll be off to the races. So that's what we have. That's what we do. I appreciate everybody's time and spending this time with us. We're glad we could teach you a new concept. Remember, for everybody on this call, it's not about the money. It's all about the impact. But that impact that you embrace will eventually make you money. So with that said, I'm Alan Thornton. I'm the CEO of Grant Source. Everybody have a blessed day. All right. Thank you.